Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee Sunday morning celebration service. I am Rev Pam Brandman, the senior minister here at the center, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we know that there are many paths to God, but they all lead to oneness and love. We're grateful that each of you is here with us today, whether you're here in the sanctuary or you're live on Zoom. All right? Our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. It's the first Sunday of the month, so we're going to revisit our CSL Good to Great vision, which was adopted last year after about a 7-month process between the congregation and the board and the practitioners. So read along with me. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. What are we passionate about? We are a loving and inclusive spiritual community that supports and inspires healing, prayer, and personal growth. What are we best at? We practice and teach spiritual principles through Sunday services, meditation, classes, experiences in nature, and creative expression. And what is our resource engine? Divine Source sustains us through our dedicated and creative people, socially relevant principles, and versatile sacred space within a magnificent natural setting. We might have to get some blown up pictures of that. All right. But it's there, you know, and that really is the essence of who we are. And so we move on next to our receptivity statement that you'll see on the screen if you'd read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am willing to open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. All right. So our musicians today are Jahred and Shawna Namaste with Love Eternal. They have been writing, performing, and recording music together since 2006, right? Including 4 albums and lots of singles. Recently, they have been at Tanglewood Studios recording tracks for a new album that is tentatively called To Be Human. We're hoping to have them join us in person sometime soon. However, for this morning, they've sent us some of their great video recordings. It's my pleasure to welcome this morning's musicians, Love Eternal.
Good morning.
Hello, hello.
I'm going to do a song for you called Healing. And it's a prayer for healing. For us as individuals, for us as community, and for this entire earth. There's nothing lost that can't be found. No story too big that it can't be put down for this moment of connection with Thee. The Almighty God has blessed me,
Love has blessed me.
let it rain down sweet healing
On me.
Let it rain down sweet healing. There is a place inside, can't be heard, can't be touched, totally divine. We are emanations of Thee. The Almighty God has blessed me,
Love has blessed me.
let it rain down sweet healing upon me. Let it rain down sweet healing, yeah, upon us all. Let it rain down sweet healing for this beautiful earth, Mama Gaia, sweet healing. And I come with great joy, this great joy, but God has blessed me.
Love has blessed me.
So I pray with great joy, her waters run free and pure like they did before we came. And they shall again,
They shall.
and may the waters of your heart run just as pure like they did before you were hurt, just a child in the arms of God.
The Almighty
God has blessed me,
love has blessed me. Let it rain down
sweet healing
upon me.
upon me.
Let it rain down
Sweet healing, yeah, upon us all. Let it rain down, sweet healing, for this beautiful earth, Mama Gaia, sweet healing. There's nothing lost that can't be found, no story too big. We put it down for this moment of connection with thee. The Almighty God has blessed me, love has blessed me. Let it rain down, let healing rain down, let love rain down, let it rain down, let it rain down.
Colonel.
Love you, and we will see you again real soon.
Love has blessed us when we make that connection with spirit within, right? And so next we have our practitioner of the day, Carol Delbon. And besides always being ready to pray with anyone at any time when they request it, Carol is our lead person to schedule the Sunday musicians. So if you know a great musician who would be interested in performing for us, especially now that we're back in the sanctuary, we want people that are in person, please pass on their contact information to Carol. But for this morning, please help me welcome Carol Delbon for our special reading and invocation.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. Smiling faces. Wish we were all together in the same place, but that's okay. Okay, I'm reading from, all of a sudden I can't remember what it's called. Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. And it's a chapter called Trust. Some part of it is what I'm going to read to you this morning. Each soul comes to the earth with gifts. A soul does not incarnate only to heal and to balance its energy, to pay its karmic debts, but also to contribute its specialness in specific ways. Each soul brings the particular configuration of the life force that it is to the needs of the earth school. It does this with purpose and intention. Each soul takes upon itself a particular task. It may be the task of raising a family, or communicating ideas through writing, or transforming the consciousness of a community, such as the business community. It may be the task of awakening the awareness of the power of love at all the level of nations, or even contributing directly to the evolution of consciousness on a global level. Whatever the task that your soul has agreed to, whatever its contract with the universe, all of the experiences of your life serve to awaken within you the memory of that contract and to prepare you to fulfill it. An unempowered personality cannot complete the task of its soul. It languishes in an inner sense of emptiness. It seeks to fill itself with external power, but that will not satisfy it. This sense of emptiness, or something missing, or of something wrong, cannot be healed by satisfying the wants of the personality. Gratifying needs that are based upon fear will not bring you to the touchstone of purpose, no matter how successful the personality becomes in accomplishing its goals. Those goals will not be enough. Eventually, it will hunger for the energy of its soul. Only when the personality begins to walk the path that its soul has chosen will it satisfy its hunger. Authentic empowerment and the fulfillment of the soul's task upon the earth, therefore, are not separate dynamics. Authentic empowerment is necessary to accomplish fully the mission of the soul. Yet, as you move into authentic empowerment, you move toward the fulfillment of your soul's agreement with the universe. And as you move toward the fulfillment, as you move consciously toward the energy of your soul, you empower yourself. You and the work of your soul upon the earth expand together. As one grows and develops, so does the other. I know that this book has been around for a long time, and I remember that John Dagling, it was one of his favorite books, he said, from reading it years ago. And we all come together this morning. Please join me in this opening prayer, knowing that we are at the center of spirit, right where we are. We have everything that spirit has. We have love, we have power, we have intelligence, we have abundance. All of this is ours for the taking, for the asking. And we benefit from this, knowing that we can advance towards our intentions. And as we speak our intentions, we visualize them and see them coming into fruition before they actually have had a chance in life. It's just in our minds. Our minds can have the great imagination that brings all of this to us, the emotions that we feel when we have the love of all that we have in our lives, and a purpose that we have found or are looking for. We can seek this by just asking spirit within and going to that soul that Gary Zukav speaks of, getting in connection with that soul, knowing that all is right, all is expressing, we are expressing just as we should. So I know that for myself, that I am seeking that empowerment, that idea, that love, that special feeling that comes when I'm connecting. So I am grateful for this, also for this Sunday service at the Center for Spiritual Living, both in person and on Zoom. So grateful for Zoom to bring us all together from distances away from Carnelian Bay, California. So I know that everybody, as they listen to Reverend Pam's talk and more of the music from Love Eternal, that there is inspiration for their lives, knowing that they can apply whatever they hear and whatever speaks to them in their own lives. So I'm in gratitude for everybody who has helped with this service today, and that it is all the perfect service that we expect and we know from the Center of Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. So I let these words go, knowing they are the truth. And so it is.
So it is.
And we invite our musicians back again. I loved their first song, Love Eternal.
Peace and love.
Friends.
We're going to do a song for you called Kingdom, Queendom, and it's about creating a world that works for all. It's about creating a world that works for all. Did I say that already?
Yeah,
I
but
think
they
it
deserve being said more than once.
There you
probably.
go.
At this point, we can say it as many times as we want, yeah?
There you go. 'Cause they got words for miles, but I got faith for days. They got a pocket full of stories, but I just turn the page because I remember who I am and why I came here to bring about a kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet just in this kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet, yeah, and the taste is sweet, yeah, and the grass is green, yeah, and the life is good, yeah, 'cause we're riding the wings of our ancestors' prayers. Whatever things that we don't see, our children will surely go from here. We're riding the wings of our ancestors' prayers. And these very seeds that we do so, we'll take our children forth from here on towards a kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet just in this kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet, yeah, and the taste is sweet, yeah, and the grass is green, yeah, and the life is good, yeah. So come on, rise your warrior, remember who you are, revolutionary, bringing about a peace, not war. Better to light a candle than to stand and curse the dark. And among us here, we got more than just a spark and light a fire. Come on, blaze it all down, find a new way of living that is bird on solid ground. Man back up, lift your woman up. White people, take a look at what you've done to this world. We got to give some, got to forgive some. We got to do it just so our kids can live. The truth is that everyone and everything is sacred if it's born upon this earth. It surely has a place. We surely have a place. It all surely has a place. We're riding the wings of our ancestors' breath. Yes, we're riding the wings of our ancestors. And they got words for miles, but I got faith for days. They got a pocket full of stories, but I just turn the page because I remember who I am and why I came here to bring about a kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet in the kingdom, queendom, everybody's dream come true. Me and you in the garden, we're starting to see those seeds turn to fruit, and the taste is sweet, yeah, the taste is sweet, yeah, and the grass is sweet, yeah, and the life is good, yeah. Thank you so much again for having us. Remember, you can always find us online at loveeternal.org.
Like that, right?
And we are available on Spotify and iTunes and all those such places. Facebook, Love Eternal Music. And Instagram, I think, is also Love Eternal Music. And we love you.
And maybe we'll be in person sometime soon.
Wouldn't that be
Hold a
something?
vision.
Yes.
Aloha.
Aloha. Blessings.
I like this song though because it talks about everybody's dream comes true, in the kingdom, queendom, and everyone is sacred, everyone, And I remember who I am and why I came here. And that's what Gary Zukav is talking about in The Seed of the Soul, is that each of us is a part of the divine, of the one. And with the divine needs each one of us to express itself in the world. And it's how we work together with love and peace and technology to create what's going on in the world. So we each have our unique mission, and we are asked to say yes to the yes, right? The yes that's, this is it. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. The infinite invisible seeks to express itself, and creation is always happening, whether we are aware of it or not. It matches our thoughts. It matches our beliefs. In a book called The Practical Application of Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes and Willis Kinnear, they said, this is an infinite thinker forever thinking itself into form. There is an infinite law forever acting upon thought, and creation is the result. Man's place in this creative order is to express, on the scale of the individual life, the same creative activity which spirit expresses in the life of the cosmos. Right? So we are how God expresses itself in the world. Now, God is infinite, never used up, right? And we've talked about E equals MC squared. Energy can be change into material, but the total of it is not lost. Energy is never destroyed. It just keeps changing back and forth, right? And so this evolution, this ephemeral nature of the physical world is part of the nature of the universe, right? But only about 5% of the universe is the physical universe as we know it. The stars, the galaxy, the planets, even us, all right? That's only 5%. The rest of it, the other 95%, is either dark energy or dark matter. So it's like this potential that's waiting to manifest. It's there. We can't see it, but it's just a part of it. And this parallels the idea of God as the infinite invisible, right? Now, we can choose to live in the five sensory world, in the material world, and then learn to build an external physical experience, an existence that follows all the scientific laws. Why then does it just seem so hard sometimes? Why does it seem that we're just recreating the past, like it or not? Or perhaps we're pursuing a future that never just seems to arrive. It's always around the next bend or the next hill. We never get there. We have to live life in the present, right? And in the midst of it all, there is a voice within that is calling from deep within our soul. What if we answer that call and choose a path of awareness? An awareness that the power and presence of something greater than ourselves is calling us inward and upward. Right? That something greater is the universe, God, or whatever we call it. We are each incarnated souls that are an individualized part of the universe. We are the ways that God shows up in the world. Now, what happens if we ignore our calling? If we don't use our God-given gifts? So Gary Zukav suggests that we will feel an inner sense of emptiness. Gratifying the needs of our ego by seeking external power and material goods will never be enough, regardless of how much we accumulate. Right? Our accomplishments will not yield the true and lasting life satisfaction that we seek. Now, a quote from Gary Zukav: authentic empowerment is necessary to accomplish fully the mission of the soul. You and the work of your soul upon the earth expand together. As one grows and develops, so does the other. Right? So we come to this earth with potential, and it's up to us to listen and develop that potential. Right? We are called to say yes to God, the infinite, invisible. To say yes to the yes. Now, when we do this, we partnership with God. To express itself, the infinite creator endows each soul with its unique gifts, its unique mission, right? But in order to discover that authentic self, we undergo a training program called the Earth School, right? So one path is to function solely at the physical level, the material level. And here, on this path, we learn by trial and error, through pain and sometimes fleeting pleasure that is generated in response to our decisions, good or bad, our anger, our judgments, whatever we do. But we're also limited by fear of thinking that we're alone and by desires that never seem to be completely filled. And once you get it, it's like, well, that wasn't everything I expected, right? But as consciousness evolves, we discover that life is for us. And on this path, we learn that by changing our thinking, we can change our lives. We begin to change our lives by, in the beginning, manifesting parking spaces or better health, harmony in our relationships, and prosperity. And these changes are wonderful. We're no longer victims, but instead we are co-creators with God. But there is still something more, right? There is another path that branches off from this second path. It rises higher and leads us inward. This path is to turn within and to listen to that voice within our soul. And as we trust the voice of spirit within us, we learn to become conscious of the universe flowing through our soul. So our heart opens wide. We learn to love. We learn to feel the divine intentions in our heart and to trust them. God is not revealed only through the intellect, but in our heart, right? There we discover divine intelligence, divine creativity, and our authentic self. We learn to live from the inside out, right? And so when we say yes to the yes, we agree to partner with God and to co-create a world that works for everyone, not just ourselves, right? And this is how we learn to evolve upward and release our imprisoned splendor. Right? In a book called Practical Metaphysics, A New Insight in Truth by Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister, demonstration is not working magic. It's not working miracles. It's not the something out of nothing kind of process. It's releasing your imprisoned splendor. It's something that's already there, right? That which you desire is already within you. So we can partner with God for joy, peace, wholeness. And our great gift, which, however, is our yes to imagining and creating our lives, our gifts, that divine intention for why we're here on this planet, our essence, right? And so our greater life that may be beyond our experience or our familiar, our comfort zone, but we're asking God to grow us, to allow ourselves to express that something greater. Maybe it's never been seen before, or at least not by us, right? So it's living in trust and partnership with the invisible within. From another book by Gary Zukav, The Mind of the Soul, he says, choosing is the act of creation. The more important choices you make are the choices about how you see yourself, the universe, and your relationship to the universe. So we get to choose whether we're going to use our limited thinking or turn to source. So that's going to make all the difference. So choose carefully, right? Now, the way that when we do that, we want to practice listening to spirit, and that's why spiritual practice is so important, right? And it's called practice because it's something you do over and over again, every day, reconnecting and realigning with spirit, listening to that inner voice, and then you choose, right? In a book called You Are Not Enough by David Walker, he says, you are worth more than you will ever experience, but you will only experience what you think you're worth, right? So that's why we want to have that alignment with spirit and know that we are God's beloved creation, right? There's a parable called the Parable of the Eagle, and it's an adaptation of an allegory that was written by James Emin Quigger Agri. He was an African intellectual missionary, and a powerful educator. He was born in Gold Coast, now known as Ghana, in 1875. A brilliant scholar, he emigrated to America to study to become a missionary at Livingston College in Salisbury, New York. Eventually, he earned doctorates in theology, or actually North Carolina, sorry. Eventually, he earned doctorates in theology and osteopathy, and also studied economics and chemistry, and sociology, psychology, and Japanese at what is now Columbia University. So he was a very Renaissance man in a lot of ways. And, and the way he studies such a wide range of topics, it really reminds me of someone called Ernest Holmes. He put a lot of different things together. Now, in 1920, Agri went back to Africa as a part of a research mission to identify how education in Africa could be improved. Besides his native Gold Coast, he visited 9 other countries over 2 years. In 1924, Agri was appointed the first vice principal of Agri College in Gold Coast. So he resettled in Gold Coast, bringing his American wife and 4 children along with him by that time. But unfortunately, he became ill in 1927 at the age of 52 when he was visiting New York City and passed away. But some of his progressive ideas included the importance of education for women if a country was to develop its full potential. He said something like, when you educate a man, you educate one person. When you educate a woman, you educate the whole country. Right? He also talked about ways that white people and black people could live in harmony, just like the white and black keys on a piano. Without each other, you're all sharp or all flat, but you need them both to have beautiful music. His legacy and influence on many people who became presidents of their African countries was also invaluable. Now, as an African, Agri knew the power of stories. And so this is a story that he wrote called The Eagle That Would Not Fly. So a man went into the woods, and he wanted to catch a bird that he could take home with him. And so he caught a young eagle, very small at the time, and he put the eagle in the backyard with his chickens and the ducks and the turkeys, and he fed the eagle chicken feed. Right? And so although he was an eagle, the king of birds, he survived on chicken feed. Now, 5 years later, he was visited by a man who loved nature. And while they were walking together in the garden, the naturalist said, "That bird is not a chicken, it's an eagle." And the man said, "Well, that's true, but I have raised him as a chicken, so now he is no longer an eagle, but a chicken. And even if he has a 3-meter wingspan." "No," said the naturalist, "he will always be an eagle because he has the heart of an eagle, and he can fly high in the sky." No, said the first man. "He is really a chicken now, and he will never fly." Well, then they decided to try an experiment. The naturalist took the eagle and lifted him up and said with great feeling, "Who are you, eagle? You belong to the sky, not to the earth. Use your wings and fly." And the eagle sat on the man's fist and looked around him, and behind him he could see the chickens pecking at their grain. So he jumped down and joined them, pecking at the grain. The first man said, "Well, I told you, he's a chicken." "No," replied the naturalist, "he is an eagle. We'll try again tomorrow." So on the following day, the visitor decided he would take the eagle up to the roof of the house. And he lifted him up and he said, "Eagle, you are an eagle. Use your wings and fly." But when the eagle saw the chickens scratching down on the yard below, he jumped down and found his way towards them again and started scratching along beside them. Right? So the first man said again, "I have already told you, he is a weakling, he is a chicken." "No," replied the naturalist, "he is an eagle, and he still has the heart of an eagle. Let's try again tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall see him fly." So the following morning, the naturalist got up early. He took the eagle and left town, going far away at the base of a high mountain. And the sun was just rising over the mountain, gilding the summit of the mountain with each peak resplendent with the beauty and joy of a new day. Right? He lifted the eagle up and he said, "Eagle, You are an eagle. You belong in the sky and not to this earth. Use your wings and fly. The eagle looked around him, trembling, as if filled with new life. But he did not fly. And then the man who loved nature, he let the eagle look directly at the sun as it was rising over the mountain. And suddenly, he stretched his powerful wings and took off with an eagle's cry. You've heard that before, right? He flew higher and higher and never came back. Right? Now, every time the eagle looked at the familiar world, at those chickens pecking on the ground, he believed that what he saw in the material world and believed that that was all there is to life. Right? But when the eagle looked directly into the sun, this is going to be really exciting. Karen, I'm going to have to pick up your copy of my talk because this copy left part of it out. So I think the copier. Anyway, but when the eagle looked directly at the sun, thank you, it represents that he came into alignment with spirit and with the divine intention for who he was created to be. And it was then that he could believe, even conceive that he could fly, right? It's that power within us. It's always there calling, gnawing at us, and so he could then go beyond his worldly, limited ideas and allow himself to be empowered by something greater than he had ever dreamed, right? We are the same way. We can go beyond the limits we've accepted for ourselves because they're only in our minds, not in the divine reality. And instead, we align ourselves with that divine intention within us that is for us, our greatest yet to be. And even if it's something far beyond our experience or beyond our comfort zone, and we can trust that Spirit is with us always, and around us and through us and as us. We are in partnership with God. God has only one answer. Yes. Whatever we believe is what we manifest. And so the law of cause and effect is unbiased. It doesn't play favorites. Our life will manifest whatever we believe we deserve, whether it's great or small, and whether it only serves us or it serves the whole world. Right? So we say yes to the yes by trusting our desire to be more. Again, from the Practical Application of the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes and Winnis Kinnear. There is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us to be happy, to be whole, and to express the fullness of life. The latent divinity within us stirs our imagination and proclaims itself through every creative endeavor. It has produced sages, saints, and saviors, and will, when permitted, create a new world in which war, poverty, sickness, and famine will have disappeared. Right? The world that works for everyone. Now, there's a man named Campbell Smith that I'd like to tell you about. He's an amazing artist. Now, when he was a child growing up in Philadelphia, he was diagnosed as being autistic. And so he had trouble expressing himself verbally with words. And so one day when he was in middle school, his dad discovered a bunch of Campbell's drawings that were stuffed into the floor register in Campbell's room. And he was ashamed. He thought that wasn't going to be an okay thing. But these drawings were totally amazing. They were depictions of a world where he had assembled superhumans in his mind called autisarians, based on autistic, that helped him fight the enemies that would not accept him. So he gave these autisarians superhuman powers, seeing himself maybe as one of those people. Those were his allies. Now his dad had the insight to see that Campbell's artistic abilities were that superhuman gift that came with his autism, right? So his dad bought Campbell lots of canvases and oil paints. And Campbell started just going to town, painted every day, all day long. And he had an inexhaustible desire to recreate the world around him. And he kept painting and painting. Now, when his dad couldn't get any more canvases, because he was using them up so quickly, Campbell turned to cardboard, and soon he began constructing large sculptures in his yard. And so Campbell kept creating more sculptures and paintings, and the eventually accumulating 4 graphic books of his artisarians and an animated motion picture and more than 400 paintings, right? And you can see from this slide in the one in the middle, you can see him standing in the middle of one of his buildings, and they're this tall, made out of cardboard that he was making, and they're just amazing. That's the Chrysler building, and the other one is one of his paintings that they're really fabulous paintings. And what's amazing about his paintings is that he, being self-taught, he naturally sees the perspective and detail in each building and faithfully recreates it, right? Well, in 2019, at the age of 29, Campbell was discovered. A neighbor was impressed by the sculptures in his front yard and posted some photos on Facebook. Now, she was also in the art world, and so she got an art curator that she knew to come over and introduced Campbell to that curator. Well, that curator introduced Campbell Smith to the world, and he became an overnight sensation, right? Now, Campbell's works are now exhibited in prominent museums, galleries, and private collections. And he built a model of the Lincoln Financial Field Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which must be like 8 feet long and just amazing. And he sold it for $25,000. Right? He has won several awards and grants. Right? Now, Campbell's family started a nonprofit foundation called the Autisarian Network to change the face of autism by encouraging those who suffer from its negative effects to find and learn to use those superhuman abilities that are hidden within them. Right? They're not the same as you or me, but they have some gifts that are unique and amazing. Now, April is Autism Awareness Month, so this is coming forward, and I know Christian Sorensen, the minister in Seaside, he and his wife, they have a autistic son, and there's an article in the magazine this month about how much they've learned from their son. And it requires you to live in the present when you live with someone like that. So all of us have our strengths and our non-strengths. And when we partner with God, the infinite invisible that created us all, our job is to discover our gifts and put them into action. These Autisarians are a teacher who asks us to accept people just as they are, perfect creations of the divine. The people we are called to accept and appreciate the most are ourselves. So what is your calling? Right? So how do we put all these principles into practice? Right? First, we connect and align ourselves with God through spiritual practice, the one, right? And then we use a visioning process to ask, what does Spirit want to create through me? We can also say prayers for clarity and for divine guidance. And those prayers are always answered, and sometimes in surprising ways and synchronicities. Right? Listen with your intuition. Don't limit yourself to what you already know is possible, right? Because with God, all things are possible. And when you have an intuitive spark, greet it with delight and curiosity. Maybe it's possible. So let your idea become real. Rather than trying to use your intellect to quickly turn it into something that manifesting in the physical world, it's just like something you've seen before. Instead, envision what your idea is unfolding right now, and ask yourself, how do I feel? Who am I being? And we don't need to know the outcome or even the next step. We just need to be in the present and fully live in this moment and do what is ours to do in this moment. And that's part of the unfoldment, right? When if you're going to go around that corner, you got to go from here to the corner. And that might be all we see. But God is with us all the way. And God knows what's around the corner. Right? So even when those limiting beliefs come up like, this will never happen, or maybe, I'm not good enough to do that, or I need help, or whatever the issue is, Remember that you are in partnership with God, and God can do anything as long as you believe. In all things, be grateful for the power and the presence of the divine in your life. Be grateful that God always says, yes, my beloved, yes. Then let go and let God, and the entire universe works with you to make your dream a reality. Now, as Dr. Seuss so profoundly said in his book called The Happy Birthday Book, today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Shout loud, I am lucky to be what I am. I am what I am. That's a great thing to be. If I say to myself, happy birthday to me. Let's take this to prayer. As we go within, focusing on our breath, we feel the rhythm of the universe. And we know that our heartbeat, our breath, is part of God breathing us. It is part of that divine life unfolding. The one life that is everywhere present. And we are an integral and unique and wonderful part of it. And so we let go of any thought of limitation, that we are not enough. And as we do, as we look up to that higher calling, as we say yes, there is this sense of being loved, deeply loved for exactly who we are right here and right now. We have been created perfectly with all that we need to fulfill our mission in the Earth School. To love and be loved, to bring joy and peace and wholeness to the planet, to experience in our own lives that the table is spread before us and our cup is full to overflowing. We are cared for in every way. As we care for others, as we forgive others, we are forgiven. As we stand up for this higher calling of what can be, and we let go of the lesser, we find others standing up with us. And there is this knowing, this communication, this travels between us as we know that we are all one with God, whether we know it yet or not. And so we trust that all of that is unfolding. And where there is love, we see it unfolding. We call it out and recognize it and say thank you. And where we see something that is not peace, we know that within is that divine peace that cannot be stopped, that cannot be held back, as hard as people might try at any point in time. And so we see in the determination of the Ukrainians, their determination to be free and live in peace and to stand up, that is moving the world in new directions and freeing that peace, that divine peace, to be manifest. And each person involved is being guided, whatever their experience or worldly intentions have been. That divine intention within is stronger. And so we know that in our personal lives, it is the divine that is guiding our thought, word, and deed, showing us greater possibilities, showing us how to create harmony in our relationships, showing how to be a vehicle for love and peace and joy in the world. And this is also the mission of our beloved Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, that we come together to live in joy and in peace and through spiritual practice, come to know God, the One, in even greater depths, with even greater clarity. And there is a sense of being together as the One, loving and loved, to be a center for all of that in our community, for spiritual transformation, for wholeness, for peace, for joy, for prosperity, all that is good, because it is all God. And so I say thank you, thank you, thank you, Father, Mother, God, that we know this, we experience, and we accept it right here and right now. And so it is. So now we come to our prosperity time. Oh, that's right. We have another song, and it's a good one, too. I don't want to miss it. So this one is called Hurricane Blow.
Aloha, good morning. So grateful to be here with you again. We're Love Eternal.
Thanks for having us.
And this song that we're going to play for you is called Hurricane Blow. It's about overcoming obstacles and keeping the faith alive.
Finding center in the hurricane.
Exactly. Can you hold on to your vision until your vision becomes reality? Or will you be caught up in the blindness of the illusions that you see? Do you believe in peace so much you're willing to live peacefully? Or can you hold on to your vision until your vision becomes reality? Through the hurricanes blow, but it takes more than that to knock I down. Hurricane blow, but my roots tap deep under the holiest ground. Hurricane blow, but my faith and my love will forever stand strong. Hurricane blow, but I know this illusion said they could not last for too long. I know this illusion could not last for too long. I know this illusion said they could not last for too long. And I will share what I got with you. Together we will pull through. And I, sacred community. And as the angels taking us by the hand, lead us to Jah promised land. Oh, Jah, and I, sacred community. Community to hurricane blow, but it takes more than that to knock I down. Hurricane blow, but my roots tap deep under the holiest ground. Hurricane blow, but my faith and my love it forever stands strong. Forever stands strong. Hurricane blow, and I know this illusion said they could not last for too. I know this illusion could not last for too long. I know this illusion said they could not last for too long. So I will hold on to my vision until my vision becomes reality. I won't be caught up in the blindness of the illusion that I see. And yes, I believe in peace so much I'm willing to live peacefully. Yes, I will hold on to my vision until my vision becomes reality. I'll hold my vision until my vision becomes reality. I'll hold my vision until my vision becomes reality. Reality. hope you hold on to your vision until your vision becomes reality.
Because vision does become reality.
And we will see you again very soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Love Eternal. Yeah, they hold that vision till it becomes a reality, right? So now we come to our prosperity time. And at CSL Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source for our center and for each of us as individuals. So your donations to the center are an opportunity for you to share with us and to create and carry out our mission, which is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. And we want to support spiritual transformation in the world by sharing the Science of Mind spiritual principles and experiences of love and wholeness, right? That higher vision. So we're grateful for your donations and for your continuing commitment to our center. So if you would hold your offering over your heart and repeat with me our prosperity affirmation. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me, blessed and multiplied.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God
is the energy of the divine that is flowing through this center, through this money, these donations, but it is all the activity of God. We bless each one that has made a contribution and all of the contributions that are on their way here now, supporting our center to thrive as a center of the divine. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Okay. So I want to welcome everyone that's visiting with us today, or if you're a first-time visitor, remember to sign up on the card you can get on our newsletter. And we have a welcome packet for you as well. And if you want to, yes. And you can also go on the website to sign up for the newsletter if you would like to do that instead. There's several thank yous that I'd like to do this morning. And one of them is Penny and Don Schuler. They have, we had some birds or some animal was trying to come in our doors. So she and Don came over and cleaned it all up. It looks great. And we have some new blinds that they've installed for us. So thank you so much. And they've started our spring cleanup. So the real one is next Saturday. And then also Penny is our hospitality person this morning. So thank you, Penny, and everyone else who brought some goodies for us to share. There's, huh? So, and right after service, if you're here with us, you can join us for hospitality and share those goodies. And it also will be on Zoom for a while, so we can chat as well. But you will find all these announcements in the Zoom link in the Constant Contact newsletter, on the Instagram page, Facebook page, and on our web page. So, if you don't write it all down, you can find it somewhere else. Now, the video recordings of our Sunday service and a shortened version with the minister's talk are uploaded to our YouTube channel, usually by afternoon. If there's a few technical glitches, it might be the next day. But and then we had that glitch in the song, and that'll be magically fixed. So it's great. So we have our updated website that you can check out. And Next slide. Thank you. And then next week, our Sunday service, April 10th, will be in person and on Zoom again. We're continuing April's CSL theme, which is Living Everyday Wonder, Creativity. The talk will be entitled Dancing with the Donkey in honor of Palm Sunday. And I will be here along with Suber Doyle is the musician, and the practitioner is Michael Brandman. The spiritual chain reaction that was going on, we thought it was going to be over at the end of March. And this is a group that's been sponsored by CSL Geneva. And they've been meeting every day at noon our time to pray for peace. So people from around the world log into that Zoom. But they've extended it through April 15th. But they've changed the title to now be Thanksgiving for the Peace Process, because it's evolving and manifesting itself. It's made a difference. And so you can join them every day at noon. And this is the link there. And you can also find the link on the CSL Santa Rosa website. But we'll get it up on ours as well. Now, let's see. Okay, so next Saturday, April 9th, is our spring cleanup for 2022. And from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, we want to clean up the yard after all the winter storms and get ready for the Easter egg hunt, which is the next Sunday. So it won't take very long if everyone shows up. And we're not going to do the big cleanup with the, what do you call it, the trash dumpster, right? We'll do that later. But right now we want it to be nice, where we're going to have the Easter egg hunt for the kids. And the sign-up sheet is in the hospitality. Bring your own yard tools, gloves, and water. But we want that spring joy to show through all those pine cones and needles, right? Now on April 16th, the Saturday before Easter, from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., we are holding our annual Easter egg hunt outdoors for the children. So the kids are going to have a chance to hunt for eggs, to dye some eggs, and there's some other crafts that we'll be setting up. I know we have at least 4 kids that are registered so far, and so we have room for more. So please, if you know any wonderful children that would like to be here rather than at the 200-plus person one in Truckee that morning, but ours is in the afternoon. But anyway, should be a wonderful experience. But do let us know in advance if you can, so we make sure we have enough goodies for the kids. Now, our next CSL certified class is called The Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment. And it's an 8-week class that starts on Tuesday, April 19th. And it's 2 hours in each evening. And this class will guide you towards healing and manifesting your greatest life through the practice of spiritual mind treatment. It's an amazing class, part of the basics of science of mind. And they've redone the course. So, even if you've had something similar in the past, this will be different. But it's a dynamic course, and it has an emphasis on the use of daily affirmative prayer, which is what we call spiritual mind treatment. It's scientific the way it works, right? There's a sign-up sheet in the hospitality area, and you can also sign up on the website with a newsletter link or by calling the office. Now, one thing new that's happening, well, it's not new, it's our annual Adopt a Highway process. We really didn't get to do it last year because of the smoke and COVID and all those things going on. But this year, beginning in May, our CSL team will start our monthly Adopt a Highway cleanup along the lowest mile of 267 there in Kings Beach. Now this year, Caltrans is requiring every participant to complete an online safety training program before they can participate. But it's worth it because 1, will be safe, and 2, this is going to be a fundraiser for CSL, since Caltrans has also started giving stipends of $250 a month for each time we clean up the highway. Right? So this will be a fundraiser for our center. Nancy O'Neill and Michael Sunholm are making all the arrangements with Caltrans. So thank you, Nancy. And I think she's celebrating today. And so contact her. Phone number is 530-400-6768. Or call the office for more information. Now, another big event is May 22nd. And on that day, we're going to have Melissa and Z. They're going to be here to provide the music and inspirational music for the service. And they're going to lead us in a workshop that afternoon. The workshop is called Truth and Love Communication, based on the teachings of Dr. John Sarno and Mind-Body Healings. So make plans to be there. There's and invite your friends. I think they'll really like it too. A way to introduce some people to our community and what we do here. We also have lots of ongoing classes that are drop-in on a love offering basis. So we have Chris Worcester's Tai Chi online class on Thursdays. Mary McEnany and Penny have their energization and then meditation on Thursday from 4:30 and to 6. And then Sue Pipel's book study, A Course of Love, is on Friday evenings. So these are all on Zoom. And so with our children, we have those children that are coming next a couple of weeks. Better be sooner than next year, I hope. Okay, that sounds like a COVID comment. But anyway, if you would bless them with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God, and so it is. All right. Now, one more important announcement is about our practitioners. And so they are professionally trained and licensed in the process of spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And we know that prayer makes a difference. So if whatever you're going through, if you would like a quick prayer, you can meet with one of the practitioners after the service. Carol Dalbon is going to be available for an hour after service ends if you're online rather than here. And her phone number is 530-386-1894. But here in the sanctuary, we have Michael Brandman is here, and I'm here. I'm also a practitioner, so you could contact one of us. Now, you also may want to just put a prayer request in the box. And if you want a longer appointment, there's also a list of the practitioners there on the welcome table with their contact information. So we're going to close with our affirmation and our closing song. And remember to stay for our hospitality afterwards. So let's make a circle. Okay. Oh, Michael, you gonna join us? Okay. If you would repeat with me. I know myself as Spirit knows me. Creative, unique, wonderful.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begin with me. Let this be the moments now.